What does poverty really look like in Vietnam's mountains? How do families survive here? Could you live this life? Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're visiting an elderly couple living in the mountains of northern Vietnam. Despite their difficult circumstances, they are raising 6 grandchildren. Let's spend a day with them and discover their story. This is the man you'll be meeting today. He is raising his 6 grandchildren on his own after both of his sons passed away. The children's mothers later left and started new families, leaving the grandchildren in his care. Before filming, I asked for his permission to share his family's story with all of you, and he kindly agreed. As we talked, he was smoking homegrown tobacco. He grows it himself, not for sale, but for his own use. To make his traditional pipe, he carefully carves a piece of bamboo by hand. It's a simple tradition that has been passed down for generations in the mountains of northern Vietnam. This is the home where he lives with his 6 grandchildren. The house is built with traditional earthen walls and a simple metal roof. Time has left its mark on every corner, but it still provides shelter for the whole family. For them, this house is more than just a place to live. It's their home. At the front of the house, there's a hollow log placed under a small roof. Inside, a colony of bees has made its home. The simple shelter protects them from the rain and harsh weather, allowing the family to keep bees using a traditional method that has been passed down for generations. This is his motorcycle. Many years ago, he sold one of his buffaloes to buy it. Because he never learned to ride a 2-wheeled motorcycle, he had 2 extra wheels added for balance. The other motorcycle parked beside it doesn't belong to him, it's his neighbor's. Parked beside the house is his walking tractor. It has helped him plow the fields. Without it, working on the steep mountain roads would be much more difficult. Clothes are hung wherever there's space around the entrance. Among the everyday clothes are the family's colorful, traditional Hmong outfits. It's a small detail that quietly tells the story of life in Vietnam's northern mountains. Standing beside the old vegetable chopper is a worn electric fan. For many people, it might have been thrown away years ago, but here, as long as it still works, it continues to serve the family. Nothing is wasted. A simple bamboo staircase leads down to the pig pen. I couldn't help but wonder how the elderly couple manages to walk up and down these steep steps every single day. Hidden beneath the shade of the trees, the pig pen stays surprisingly cool. It's small, but just enough space for their 2 pigs, some of the family's most valuable possessions. Tucked away in a corner is a handmade chicken nesting box. He built it himself using large fern leaves, creating a warm and comfortable place for the hens to hatch their eggs. The family's water system is very simple. Water first collects in a large plastic container, and once it's full, the 2 smaller containers are used for daily needs. Thanks to the nearby forest, fresh mountain water is available throughout the year. Although the containers are old, they continue to serve the family every day. Right beside the family's water containers are 2 small rooms used every day. The first one is where pig feed is cooked. Instead of solid brick walls, it was built with earthen walls, wooden posts, and a simple roof, using whatever materials were available. A curtain covers the entrance to keep the chickens from wandering in and eating the pigs' food. Although it looks quite temporary, it has served the family for many years. The second room is used for bathing. It's small, clean, and very simple, with no shower or water heater. Whenever someone wants to bathe, they fill a basin with water by hand. The old tiled floor has cracked after years of use, but the room is still an important part of the family's daily routine. Behind the house is a large pile of firewood collected by the family. Since they don't use a gas stove, firewood is their main source of fuel for cooking every day. Surrounded by forests, gathering wood is much easier, so they always keep a large supply ready for the months ahead. Stepping inside, the house has a simple earthen floor. After years of daily use, the ground has become hard and compact. Household items are placed wherever there's space, giving the home a lived-in feel. At the center is a traditional wood-burning stove, where the family cooks every meal and gathers to keep warm. Even during summer, the nights in these mountains can still be cool, making the fire an important part of everyday life. The bed was donated by another YouTuber. Even today, it's still used by the family every single day. In one corner of the house stands a hand-operated corn grinder. Every harvest season, it's used to grind dried corn into feed for the family's pigs and chickens. This corner of the house serves as the family's kitchen storage area. An old wooden shelf holds bowls, pots, buckets, and other everyday essentials. Several plastic buckets are used to store rendered pork fat, an important cooking ingredient for the family. Inside the old cupboard is a bowl of stir-fried chili left over from an earlier meal. According to the grandparents, it's also the only dish they and their 6 grandchildren have to eat with their rice today. One of the first things that catches your attention is the collection of old cooking pots lined up along the wall. Blackened by years of cooking over wood fires, they've been used almost every day for a long time. One pot still holds leftovers from an earlier meal, ready to be reheated later. These well-worn pots have helped prepare countless meals for the grandparents and their 6 grandchildren. This is the other bed in the house. The room feels quite dim because the old light bulb no longer provides much light. Beside it stands an empty refrigerator that hasn't been plugged in for a long time. The grandparents told me they rarely have enough food to store, so they simply don't use it anymore. In the corner is an old foot-powered sewing machine, a reminder of a time before electricity became common in these remote mountains. A wooden ladder leads up to the attic, where the family stores corn and rice after each harvest. Keeping them above the living area helps protect the crops from moisture while saving valuable space inside the house. A small opening in the roof lets natural light shine into the home, making the dark interior a little brighter during the day. As the rain begins to fall, the grandparents finally have a quiet moment to rest. They sit on the porch, watching the rain, while spending time with 2 of their grandchildren. Their faces are calm and thoughtful, carrying the weight of years filled with hardship and responsibility. This is the eldest granddaughter in the family. At such a young age, she's already helping with the daily chores. Let's watch as she prepares the family's meal over a traditional wood-burning stove, a skill she has learned from her grandparents. Watching the eldest granddaughter light the wood-burning stove It's easy to see that she's done this many times before. She arranges the firewood, lights the fire, and keeps it burning with confidence and speed. According to the grandparents, she left school after the 5th grade. Since then, she has stayed at home to help cook, take care of her younger siblings, and share the daily responsibilities with her grandparents. As the rain begins to ease, the grandfather walks down to a nearby bamboo grove to gather fresh bamboo shoots. According to him, they will be the only dish for today's meal shared by the grandparents and their 6 grandchildren. Sitting quietly, he carefully peels away the tough outer layers with practiced hands, revealing the tender shoot inside. It's a simple ingredient, but for this family, it will become the main part of today's meal. The rice is almost ready. While waiting, the grandfather begins preparing the fresh bamboo shoots he picked earlier. With a small knife, he carefully slices each shoot into 2 separate piles. The tender tips, which are softer and naturally sweeter, will be cooked for today's meal. It's the only dish the family will share with their rice. The tougher lower stems won't go to waste. He cuts them into thin strips before soaking them in water to ferment. After a few days, they'll become pickled bamboo shoots, a traditional food that can be stored for weeks and enjoyed long after the fresh shoots are gone. In a home where every ingredient matters, nothing is wasted. Even a single bamboo shoot is carefully prepared to provide meals for both today and the days ahead. The grandmother plays with the youngest grandchild by the fire, while the eldest granddaughter quietly sweeps the house. Even the children help with the daily chores. To help improve today's meal, I decided to visit a small grocery store nearby and buy a few basic supplies for the grandparents and their 6 grandchildren. Before we go, take a moment to look at the village surrounding their home. It's peaceful, quiet, and surrounded by beautiful mountains and forests. At first glance, it seems like a wonderful place to live. But behind this beautiful landscape are families facing hardships that many people never see. With little or no stable income, they rely on hard work, the land around them, and whatever nature provides. Every day is another day of perseverance, making the most of what they have and never giving up. This small village is home to around 20 families, and the grandparents' house sits at the highest point. Down where I live, the weather is much hotter, but after climbing up here, I could immediately feel the cold mountain air. Even in summer, the temperature is cool enough to make you shiver. Oh wow, this is the only grocery store in the entire village. Because it's so remote and difficult to reach, new supplies haven't arrived for a long time. Most of the shelves are empty now. Only a few bottles of drinks remain, and one of the display shelves has even been turned into a place to store shoes. Fortunately, I managed to find a few packs of dried rice vermicelli. I bought 5 packs, along with more than 10 bottles of drinking water for the grandparents and their grandchildren. I also wanted to buy fish, instant noodles, and some snacks for the children, but none of those were available here. In the end, I bought everything the store still had that could be useful. After the meal, the family's second eldest granddaughter begins washing the dishes. With only bamboo shoots served today, there's almost no grease left on the bowls or plates, so she doesn't even need dish soap. After returning from the grocery store, the grandfather learned that I hadn't eaten yet. Without saying much, he served me a bowl of bamboo shoots and a bowl of rice. Sitting there, eating nothing but bamboo shoots, stir-fried chili, and rice, I found it hard to hold back my emotions. It reminded me how fortunate I am. From now on, I want to be more mindful, waste less food, and appreciate every meal I have. Joining me today is a traveler who came here to experience life in the mountains and take a break from the fast pace of everyday life. After the long journey and hike up to the village, he was exhausted. A simple meal of rice and bamboo shoots tasted surprisingly delicious after such a tiring day. And with that, our visit to the home of these grandparents and their 5 grandchildren comes to an end. Spending time with this family has reminded me that happiness doesn't always come from having more. Sometimes it comes from simply having people to share life's hardships with. Every corner of this small house tells a story. The worn-out furniture, the wood-burning stove, the empty refrigerator, and the simple meal of rice with bamboo shoots all reflect a life built on resilience rather than comfort. Even with so little, the grandparents continue to work every day, doing everything they can to raise their grandchildren with love and dignity. I sincerely hope this small gift can make the next few days a little easier for them. If this story has touched your heart, let it remind us to appreciate what we have, waste less, and never take even the simplest meal or the people beside us for granted. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next journey.